Hello. Today I painted my car, but I wanted to record like 2 days ago, but my phone had issues and I didn't want to record any video on my shitty Android. So yeah, I painted the front end, the origin fenders. I fixed my bumper, like all the cracks basically, all the big ones, the gash, the hole in the on the bottom of the bumper. I don't have the bumper here, it's at my house, but we just got done taking off the over fenders. It's just so annoying to break rivets because you have to drill into it, and sometimes they start spinning around with the drill bit and you have to take like a vice grip to grab onto it. But I took these off because I do want to go lower, but mainly because I just don't want to rub as much anymore. On this side it's not that bad, but I do want to like basically take it and go like that around, so I have like a good amount, because it doesn't, the over fender sits up here, so it doesn't matter what the hell goes on down here for the most part. And throw some expanding foam in there to waterproof it somewhat, because I did gut my rear interior completely. Here's the over fenders, which are actually charge speed, which is surprising because I thought they were like replicas or something. I'm going to be shaving the hole right here for the antenna, because I mean it's either that or it's welded in the hole here. But I'd rather shave the fiberglass and just make it one flat panel. I kind of have enough experience doing the fiberglass work for my bumper and side skirts. And yeah, this is the side that has really been rubbing a lot, and you can see why. This is ride height, and yeah, it really, before it used to be over here when this stuff used to be bent down. It used to dig into here and you could see the grooves, but now it's just right here, so it's not wearing it out as much. But I obviously don't want to be rubbing all the time. But for this, for the interior, I completely like took out the cage first of all, which is for sale if you want to buy it, but it'll probably be gone, I don't know. But it's like I would just want $500 or best offer. I don't really care. I took out the passenger seat, I took out this seat, and could only bolt it back in with one bolt. It leads me to believe that these are just 350Z brackets, although he said it was S14 ones. But yeah, because the holes don't line up at all, and like as you can see, the seat is literally like held in at like an angle, and before the way it was bolted in was with just the front too, and the back would be able to pick up like that. So that's how I've been driving this entire time. I do want to do this. I want to fill in this chip area right here that I have, so I will just sand this down, fill it in more than it needs, and then sand it down and redo that. I did have to cut these for when I ran camper with a really fat tire, so it's kind of annoying, but you don't notice it when it's on the car that much. But if I could, I would like to redo this, but I don't know how I'm ever gonna mimic this, because you know it's not as strong, and I feel like if I do it and you know it hits, like the tire touches it even a bit, it's just all gonna crack off as one piece, and it's gonna look weird because it's gonna be painted and everything. But the rear wheel setup looks really aggressive when you're looking from it like this. So yeah, I'm gonna start cutting now, and yeah. As you can see, I cut out the outside layer, and this was welded before. It was cut a bit and it was welded, so I'm just trying to cut along this thing right there to get this giant piece out. And then the inner layer, I'll most likely be like doing slots inward so I can bend it up as much as I can to close the gap between the interior, which you can see through this hole actually. And then there I'll be putting expanding foam and things like that to waterproof it so it doesn't just go into the cabin and everything. You can see I'm working on my over fenders. Dan's painting his trunk and wing white to match. Yeah. This is my rear passenger fender, or over fender, whatever, and it had a little antenna thing right here, which bothered me. I don't know if you guys saw it in the video, but there's a metal in the quarter. There's a hole for the antenna, then there's a hole for the fiberglass, and I built it up inside. Basically I built it up like that with a piece of basically tape here, and built it up in there, and so you know it would bond to the fiberglass. Then I peeled off the tape and it was like pretty smooth, and then I piled on fiberglass on top of this and sanded that down, and that's perfectly flush now. The car is low, and like, you know, it's lower down, meaning this is how it drives, and it actually I lowered it like half an inch half an inch to an inch, and that's as low as the coilover goes with the spring being dropped how it is. I can drop the spring more, but I'll leave it like that because as you can see, I have plenty of room. This is probably never gonna rub. It has like an inch about, you know, and it only ever compresses so much. So I'm gonna have to put like expanding foam in there so smoke and water and rain and stuff doesn't come in all the way, because this is gonna be wide open. The over fender will sit here, and I did test fit it, which I'll show you a picture now. As you saw in the picture, perfectly like that, and that's what that's why I shaved it paper thin, because it's gonna sit right about here. So if it does compress, it slides right over the lip, and the tire goes in and everything like that. I already did this right here. There's a little like kind of like I think I was cutting something, or no, it's actually just a chip from how I got the car. Right here I was cutting something, and I did like an incision, as you could see, and I filled that. And then there's also a hole here for where the side skirt used to go, and it used to be right here, and you could see it. I'm still not done sanding that. That's why it looks that way. This is Dan's drip spares. Hey guys, what's up? It's like midnight right now, and I'm working on the rear bumper, sanding it down and everything. I'm about to spray primer on it, and then I'm gonna paint it that blue raspberry color, which is this back color, which you can't see because of the lighting. But you guys didn't see, I am doing a fade on the car, which I didn't even mention because I never really wanted a fade. Funny enough, well, I did want a fade, but like, I know you can like barely see this, but it's a pink fade, and it mixes into a hot pink, into a great purple, into a blue raspberry, and it has a shit ton of sparkles, just like the bumper does. Hello, yet again. I'm using this air tool right now to the air sander to start, you know, actually sanding down the body, trying not to hit the fender. I will probably take that off, or kind of like pry it off kind of thing, so it's out of the way. But I took off the side mirror because I want to do it right, because the side mirrors are going to have like a salmon pink, and then on the edging it's going to fade into a hot pink, because that's kind of part of the color. Same thing with the end of the roof. But yeah, I'm trying to get the plastic molding off right now. Hopefully I can finish it tonight, at least paint it. I don't know about putting all the body parts on, because that's kind of a bitch and it has to be daylight, but who knows about that. If anything, I have all day tomorrow, and the meet tomorrow's at like 8 p.m. So if anything, you know, I'll have it ready by then, because I want to see this thing on the floor with the one color, well, two colors, but you know what I mean, all in one, you know, how I want it to be. Hello, fellas. So this is maybe like, I would say a week? Yeah, a week after I painted this. So I had this painted for like a full week. I guess I'm gonna include this part in this entire video, make this just one big mindfuck of a paint job, but I'm gonna repaint it. I'm gonna repaint the back end, because after having it for a week, I realized I love looking at the front, like just that. I love looking at that way more than I love looking at just the back being blue, I guess. So I wanted pink from the beginning, and I think I gotta get, the back pink too. But I'm not gonna do it the same shade, although that would be kind of cool. I feel like it's a bit dull, especially because I will be running livery, so I do want where it 400 grit sandpaper rough. So yeah, I might not do as much, and I'll just pile on layers and layers of clear because I want it to be smooth. Because I think I was able to get, was it the fenders? Fenders also have glitter on it. Everything has glitter on it, but before the glitter is actually kind of smooth, and I might just wet sand all of it and then polish it, like cutting compound, whatever that stuff is called. Hey guys, so here I am finishing off the video like a week or two later, but maybe like a week. I'm exaggerating, but here's the car. Yeah, I'm currently in Maryland at my girlfriend's house, which is like 4 hours away, and this thing drove 4 hours fine. Besides like the bumper totally being shattered, like completely shattered, completely shattered. Like, what the fuck is going on with my life shattered? Because of a road construction site. This is literally like 2 days after I finished painting it, and I shattered it, and then I fixed mentioned in the video before. It's all one color. All of it is AutoZone, and they actually sell like kind of like Basically, like, if you guys have ever used paint stripper, it looked like it just looked like I just put paint stripper on top and it was crackling all the paint. And like that was horrible because I had to take down the paint down to a raw surface. And the trunk I literally took down to a raw metal surface because it was just horrible. And there was like 5 coats of paint on that thing, so it took like a while to sand it down to raw metal and reprimer it and do all that. Speaking of which, it still doesn't have a latch because yeah, I just removed the spring tension, so now it actually sits down instead. So yeah, I should zip tie it or something, I don't know, but I drove 4 hours with it open, so I really don't give a shit. But yeah, the rest of the car like came out good, but as you might notice, the video's pretty fucking unstructured as shit because I suck with organization. And as you could tell, this whole video was a giant like mind fuck of what the fuck am I doing to my car, because I had no clue for the most part. I liked the color after I sprayed the bumper, so I decided to do it because I really liked it, and I think the whole thing in one piece looks amazing as this color. I think I'm still gonna do a livery. I don't know when. That's not my main priority. My main priority right now is just to get it drift prepped and whatnot, because I'm driving an event, Hot Moves, at Club Loose in Englishtown. I'm doing the Friday night, which is the cheapest, $70. That's all I could afford. But I need to still do a air-fuel ratio gauge so I can tune it on the little SAFC tuner, a coolant temp gauge, a fuel pressure regulator, and maybe do rear rotors and pads. But me and Dan are going to try to bleed them first to see if I can actually lock the e-brake well, because it doesn't really lock right now, and all the brakes are super worn out. So it will need that sooner or later, but I'm trying to just get it drift prepped because I think it's pretty enough. The front bumper I may or may not try to fix before the event. Probably gonna drive the event without a kit, because if you do go off the track, it's like a 3-4 inch drop, and it's gonna, even without a kit, it's still gonna get like stuck and stuff because it's so low. Between the paint jobs, actually, I did a lot of things to the front where I bashed this in and I bashed the rear well in, and I actually slotted the uni frame a bit to tuck the harness super high up so I can actually be this low and be able to fully lock without interference from the harness or any metal. Also, quite honestly, this thing got like so much fucking hate when it got painted originally, the two-tone, which I don't really care about. Like, it's whatever, internet's gay and shit, so I don't know, that's all I really have to say about that. But I mean, as you can tell, I have to do everything myself on cars for the most part, and it's a mix of me being poor as fuck and not having money to, you know, pay somebody to paint a car, and it's also just, I love learning shit. So it was really cool to do fiberglass for the first time and be able to shave the hood and shave the quarters and fix little cracks everywhere, and it was just really cool. And my bumper that's destroyed, I'm actually going to be fixing that and hopefully fiberglassing like metal plates into it. So I will record a video on fixing the bumper, and I don't know, besides that, I'll definitely be doing a video on my first drift event because I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, so here's the car. Hopefully you guys like the most hated paint job, whatever, fucking who gives a shit, fuck the internet.